to save the country from something. Communism.
Yeah. By the way, she also mentioned that she would. It's gonna need to be done because of communism. Totally ignoring though the Republican Party and their communistic ways. They don't know at all that the Republican Party and Donald Trump are doing this right now.
America is really trying to hide the fact that the In-N-Out Burger mass shooter was a Trump supporter. Y'all's president, Donald Trump, hasn't said one word about the mass shooting.
Moving on here, let's talk a little bit about MAGA's violence. MAGA is a very violent group. Everybody knows it, except for MAGA, of course, because they don't like facts and truth. Remember, the number 1 and 2 enemy, right? But when it comes to MAGA, they are constantly showing off their need for violence. You know what I mean? And they also perpetrate their violence. They commit their violence. They do it all the time, But this lady right here, she's talking about how she thinks that there's going to be a civil war. Now we don't hear anybody talking about this. If you want to correct me, go ahead and try. We don't hear anybody at all on the left ever talking about going to war with our fellow Americans. And we're talking about getting rid of them. That's right. When it comes to their MAGA ideology, we're going to get rid of this entire movement. That's a whole different story, but not actual fighting and violence. That's not what this woman, who's a MAGA woman, just like many of them, she's just an example that I'm showing you of what it is that they propose.
You vote for him in 2028, Donald Trump?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Even if it was against the Constitution?
To save this country, yes.
To save the country, she will go against the Constitution and vote for Donald Trump, who is ruining our country, but she doesn't know anything about that. In fact, she's wearing an ICE hat, a terrorist organization that's terrorizing our states right now. She doesn't know about any of these things, but she says she'll vote for him unconstitutionally. Again, listen.
To save the country from something.
Communism.
We should go against the Constitution.
Only if that is our last straw in the war.
Keep saying war. Where's the war?
By the way, she also mentioned that she would. It's gonna need to be done because of communism. Totally ignoring though the Republican Party and their communistic ways, and Donald Trump and his communistic ways. You know what communism is? Communism is when the state controls everything. Who's doing that? Anybody want to take a guess? Who is it that is an accomplice to the guy who is in charge that's trying to control the media? Who's doing that? Who's trying to get media companies taken off the air? Who's trying to get media personalities taken off the air? Who's trying to buy up a bunch of different companies and take stakes in all these companies so that the United States controls those companies? Who's doing that? Who's trying to control the schools in our country, telling them what they can and cannot and should not be teaching? Who's doing that? This is not Democrats at all. Everything that I mentioned so far is being done by the Republicans and Donald Trump, who's trying to control our law firms and what they can and cannot at all sue people for and also protect people from. Who's doing that? Donald Trump and the Republicans. But she said that she's worried about communism. Isn't that weird? Name me one Democrat doing anything at all remotely close to that. Just one. But we've got the entire Republican Party advocating and are accomplices to all of this, doing this, perpetrating this, and Donald Trump is leading them. But they say that it's the Democrats that are communists. Isn't that weird? Let's continue, though, with her violence.
Yeah.
It's us against them.
Who's them?
The Democrats.
But was there an actual war? Like, Democrats, Republicans are neighbors.
Yeah, you remember the Civil War? I feel that coming if shit doesn't change.
It doesn't, and you should know. If you know so much about communism, lady, then you should know who it is that's doing it right now, as we speak. Everything that I just gave you the examples of. And there's more than that, by the way. But those are some pretty big ones, don't you think? That Donald Trump and the Republican Party are doing. You can't make this up, but let's continue.
If people don't start waking up and seeing what everybody's trying to do and changing this country and making it communist and all that shit, if people don't wake up and see what's happening, it's going to be an actual war.
It's going to be an actual war, she says. If people don't wake up to find out and see what the Democrats are doing, despite the fact of the matter that the Republicans are doing it right now. She doesn't see any of that, people. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. These MAGA people do not know what's going on in real life. I bet anything if I said to that woman, you know that Donald Trump has taken the biggest law firms in the country and in Washington, D.C. and has threatened them so that they don't go after and represent people that are against him. Do you know that he's trying to take everybody that's an adversary to court and also trying to have them arrested? Did you know that he's trying to take over the media and get media companies like ABC and NBC and everybody else completely canceled? He doesn't want them to be on the air anymore simply because he doesn't like the way that they talk about him? Is that a free country? What does that sound like to you? She wouldn't know any of those things that I just said. She would not know at all, just like many of the dummies in my comments right now are probably talking about how I'm lying. I'm lying to them. They think that I'm lying to them. They don't know at all that the Republican Party and Donald Trump are doing this right now. They don't know. I'm telling you. And so her solution is we're going to go to war.
An actual civil war again?
That's what I see happening if people don't get their shit together.
Would you fight in it?
I'm not going to turn communist and have to wear a burqa and all that bullshit, so yeah.
So wearing a burqa, just so that everybody knows, has nothing at all to do with communism. But that's the MAGA mentality for you. Their stupidity served on a silver platter. One of the other things, though, we know about as well is there was another shooting by yet again another MAGA person, right? Another MAGA person ended up shooting up an Idaho burger place, right? And this guy, first of all, let's take a look at this headline here, because I did look it up. This is In-N-Out gunman Chad Williams railed against crime in chilling post before Idaho mass shootings. And you can see this is him here with his gun the day that he was out there shooting people. But I found this video over here of this guy talking about it, which I thought the way he puts it is interesting and also truthful as well. Listen.
Y'all, America is really trying to hide the fact that the In-N-Out Burger mass shooter was a Trump supporter. Y'all's president, Donald Trump, hasn't said one word about the mass shooting.
He has not said one thing about this shooting. Has anybody noticed that, right? Now, if this was a Democrat, which it never is, let's just be clear about that also, this would be all over the place. Like Donald Trump wouldn't stop, he wouldn't be able to shut his mouth about it. But because it was a MAGA supporter, a MAGA guy, now he doesn't want to talk about it at all, period. Doesn't even mention it.
Because the shooter was a Trump supporter. 3 people were killed and several others injured in a mass shooting at an In-N-Out Burger in Twin Falls, Idaho, only a few days ago. And now one news outlet has reported that the shooter was a Trump supporter. The shooter has now been identified as 24-year-old Chad Williams. He was a Republican, he was a conservative, and him and his whole family are Trump supporters. Chad Williams frequently made posts about Donald Trump, and he often criticized Trump's 34 felonies. He loved to share Trump's rhetoric, and he often posted about how much he loved the Trump administration.
Now, when he says that he criticized Trump's 34 felonies, he's not criticizing Donald Trump for having 34 felonies. He criticized whether or not Donald Trump even had 34 felonies. Just like many MAGA people, when you tell them, like, ask your nearest MAGA right now, say, hey, MAGA, did you know that Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felonies? They do not know. And if they do know, they've blocked it so much out of their head that they're like, that did not happen. You're lying. They don't know that happened. They have no idea that Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felonies. They don't even know why he was convicted of 34 felonies. They don't even know why he was even elevated to a felony. They don't know any of those things. They have no idea that it was proven in a court of law with evidence, testimony, and witnesses that Donald Trump, in fact, cheated in the 2016 election. And that's part of the reason why they were able to convict him on 34 felonies. The fact that he was even elevated to a felony was because of the interference of elections in the state of New York. They don't know any of these things. But let's continue. I mean, you can't make this up, Rob.
Even went so far as to reply to Stephen Miller about ICE agent requirements because he really wanted to be an ICE agent.
That's who they hire, guys like this. He wanted to be an ICE agent because he thought it was a good idea to go out and kill people and not have to face any number 3 enemy accountability.
A mass murderer wanted to be an ICE agent. Shows you how trash ICE is. This mass murderer saw ICE killing people in America and was like, hell yeah, I want to join that. Chad Williams murdered 3 people. 23-year-old Ashley Garifray, 59-year-old Christopher Clouch, and 66-year-old Dale Schultz. Ashley Garibray was an In-N-Out Burger employee who was killed on the job. She did her best to try to get customers to safety before she was killed. She was an In-N-Out Burger employee trainer, and she was from Stockton, California. May they all rest in peace. Chad Williams' family also supported Donald Trump. His mom and dad often made posts about their support for the Trump administration. His mom also loved Marco Rubio. She criticized Joe Biden, and she said she was pro-life, pro-gun, and pro-American. His mom also shared a post of Kid Rock calling Trump the Dragon Slayer. The midterms are right around the corner, so Trump and Republicans are doing their best to cover up this story. That's why Trump is so quiet and hasn't said one word about this In-N-Out Burger mass shooting. Another example of how Trump doesn't put America first. He won't even give his condolences to the families because he cares more about politics than American citizens.
And one thing I want you to focus in on here is this is his picture right here. Does anybody notice anything about him? I want to see what is this guy not? Let's see if I can get it in the comments. Anybody in the comments want to tell me what this guy is not? What is he not? What do we know just by looking at him? There's some facts that we know here. He's not black. That's right, Leo the dog. He's not black. Guess what else he's not? He's not an alpha male. That's right. That's true. He's also not, that's right, Keisha. He's not black. He's also not a trans. He's also not a Hispanic Mexican. He's not some immigrant walking around killing people. It's always the same guy, though, isn't it? Some white guy. I mean, 95% of the time, isn't it? Isn't that the way it is? Now, has there been a black guy here and there and a trans person? Sure, of course. Like, no one's going to sit here and be that as dumb as MAGA and act like it never happens. Of course it has. But it's so tiny in comparison to what we mostly see, which is that guy right there. It's not an immigrant. He's not trans. He's not brown. He's not black. He's not any of those things. Isn't that weird? I mean, you can't make this shit up, bro. I swear to God, it's like they hand it to me on a silver platter, their stupidity, bro. It's unbelievable.